yeah. Hello, welcome to That Pedal Show live VCQ. Dan here.
Mick here. Hello. Welcome to VCQ. Every Monday we do this. We take questions from the floor. Sometimes we've got loud guitars. This week, no loud guitars.
No.
And Daniel, may I say that's a very fine tit for you sporting there.
Very fine what?
Titfer.
Titfer.
Tit for tat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Titfer.
Yeah.
I don't know what titfer is, but I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
If I'm sporting anything,
Yes.
it's a titfer.
I'm a cockney, don't you know? How are we then, people? Had a good week?
How was your week?
Short. I can't work out where the time goes. I'm sure all the good people out there will agree. You wake up on Monday morning and it's Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, I put the wrong password in, Dan.
I've just realised it's my daughter's last day of school tomorrow.
No
ever,
way.
Ever.
May.
Yeah. She finishes school, so she's got one half day after that. But then that's it till college, sorry.
What's she going to do in between now and then?
She's going to come work for me.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
totally.
good. That's good. I think children should be put to work, really.
Yeah.
I had to work. I had to work from like 12.
Yeah, man, from 13
Yeah.
down to the local garage.
Yeah.
Yep.
I worked on a pig farm, shoveling pig shit. There's no other way to say it.
That's why you're so tall.
I stood in it. Oh, well, congratulations to Liv then.
Yeah, she's done
Yeah,
very well.
And that's it. She's finished school.
Yep.
I mean, why don't they stay in school for a bit longer and learn more stuff?
Because I think the teachers have had enough.
Ah, that I can understand.
But no, she's done all of the exams. Very proud of her. She's done very well. Yeah.
God, and what a tough time to be doing that as well. I'm sure all of you out there with kids of exam age and indeed of non-exam age will have felt the stresses of that these past
what a year and a
months.
bit. And, man.
Yeah.
It's been, yeah. But there we go.
Yeah, on a better note, I heard today they're training spaniels, well, gun dogs in
Right.
general, to...
Which is what Rosie is, right?
Which is what Rosie is.
Yep.
Although we don't work her, but anyway, that's what she is. There are dogs that can sniff out various diseases.
Okay.
Cancer being one of them. So
Right.
dogs are being trained to sniff out certain cancers
Right.
as an early mode of detection, and they can detect the cancer before medicine can detect
Really?
it. Yep.
Wow.
And they've been doing some tests just recently where they can detect COVID
No.
with 94% efficacy.
Wow.
So
What
the
accuracy?
idea is you get the dog trained, and what they did, they got these 50p pieces and bits of people's socks who'd had COVID and, voluntarily gave up their bit of sock or 50p, and the dog sniffs it and learns, and then literally the dog can sniff COVID. So they think if the rest of the trials are successful, they think they might be able to use them in sort of big, so for example, where you can't lateral flow test 300 people through an airport.
Sure.
You could just put a dog around them, same way if you were looking for any jazz cigarettes or anything like that.
Sure. I've got COVID. Quick, mask it with some cocaine.
The spaniel's like, no COVID here, but there's a wicked doobie on that guy. Anyway, so yeah, yet more amazement from the world of dogs.
Don't they sniff in stereo? Isn't that a thing?
Well, okay. Seeing as we started on a tangent, let's continue.
follow
Yes, they do, and that's how they locate.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a thing on Countryfile about it just recently where these dogs could sniff out someone who was stationary, and they could tell the difference between someone who was moving and who was stationary. And the dogs were trained to find these people, so it might be vulnerable people
Right.
who are out and get lost, or someone, I don't know, keels over in the woods walking.
Right.
Train the dogs to find them. It's just phenomenal.
Dogs are amazing.
Aren't
They are just endlessly amazing. I agree with Ricky Gervais. I believe in dog.
Good. All right. Well, hello, and we hope we're on.
How are we looking there, Hayden?
Oh, good. Meet Hayden. Hayden's helping us out. Yeah, good. That was a Jam Pedals advert playing.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Yanis Slit.
What a legend. What a legend.
So who have we got on today then? We've got Dave Oshman from Houston, Texas. Hi, Dave. Thanks
Hello,
for being
Dave.
with us. Paul Matulovic will get to you in a minute. First in with the super chats. Paz says you're looking and sounding fresh. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me all week. James Lewis, yay! I caught it today. Welcome, James. TBY SCLZ says, what's your opinion on putting a Bigsby L5 on a Les Paul? I really want to try a new thing, and it's just a tribute.
It's just a tribute. Is it?
We actually played that, didn't we?
Long time ago. Oh boy. Sorry, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
So TBY's got a tribute series, a Les Paul tribute. Should you put a Bigsby B5 on it? Obviously, you need to make a non-repairable mod if you want to do that, because you've got to drill a hole or two.
Don't they do one that goes from the tailpiece?
They do, but I still think you need to attach it to the top of the guitar. So it is, unless they do one that's not that, then you will have to drill a hole or two, potentially.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a cool look. I mean, Neil Young and his Bigsby Les Paul, and actually the Keith Burst. Keith Richards had one with a Bigsby on it.
Right.
I think that guitar went missing. Anyway, yeah, just check if if you have to do an irreparable mod, and if you do, then well, that's your decision. I mean, it's only a couple of screw holes, so it's not like the end of the world. And it is a cool thing. So get the better one. They do a couple. They do like an import one with cheaper materials, and then they do a better one, the USA one. Greetings and salutations, says Other the Dave. Looks good, sounds good, says Michael Krause. Jacob Bartelt, will come to you in a sec. Alberta, Canada, says Kelvin Mack. Good morning from Virginia, says Daniel Tankersley. Leyland Pedal says, no.
Pedal says no.
Frankie Holt, Daniel offers you a chapeau greeting.
Greetings to you, good sir.
Nate, tube screamers suck, yes or no? No. Dan?
No.
Sure. Do you need to put the Fez of Truth on?
No, they don't suck. I just don't connect with them the way that you do, but they're great.
Yeah.
If I play through your board and you've got that tube screamer set up in a very specific way, and I'd like every time I turn it on, it's like, yeah, man, that's wicked. But I think because it works with the rest of your rig as well. But I just can't get them to work with me.
Nice hat, says Jorge, or might be George, but I think it's Jorge Andre Rivera.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel that my head is in need of hats. It's crying out for hats.
You rock the hat well.
Yeah,
you do. You do.
Bless you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, on the subject of which, Bev, I'm really sorry, BV, I'm really sorry I didn't get back to you about Jeff McCurling. Please, please, please give him our email address. Yeah, because Jeff wears a hat sometimes too. It would be wonderful to be in touch with him. I've met him a couple times at PRS events and things.
Cool.
Yeah, how wonderful. And Bev, BV, apologies for not replying to your email. And thank you, BV, for doing the moderating as always.
Legend. Thank you, BB.
Right. Let's get into it then, Daniel.
Indeed.
Newfoundland, says Road Deluxe Studios.
It's just Finland. Is it just Finland, or was it old? I can't remember. No.
Newfoundland. It's in Canada, isn't it?
Okay, right.
Or indeed up there somewhere.
I get confused.
Yeah, yeah.
Many, many things.
I wonder if it was called. I wonder if it. Okay, so that's an interesting question. Is it called Newfoundland because it was New Finland? Is that what you're saying?
Unless they found some land and went, that's new.
And we found it.
I found it.
And it's land.
Yeah. No, I found it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
In the great Australian tradition.
Some Aussie named it.
Hello, Peter Jessup. Hello, Gordon Rankin. Reckless Toboggan. 94% accuracy is considerably better than most types of tests, says Luke Saunders. Yeah. Certainly.
Amazing.
More accurate than 94% of the statements made on that pedal show. Okay. Let's go super chatting then, shall we? Yes. What do you think, Dan?
I think.
Daniel King.
I'm just going to answer in melodic notes.
Now, what was that film called with Michael Caine and Billy Connolly? Water?
I don't know.
And
Sorry.
Billy Connolly's dressed in camo. He's got a camo telly, and he only communicates through the medium of song.
Okay. I have to watch that now. That's brilliant. I ran out of notes real quick.
Okay. Let's see then. Oh, we've got a few coming in. Connor Renshaw. Connor, let's come to you first today. Connor says, hello, gentlemen. Massive thank you for years of free advice you've given me on my musical journey. Oh, here's a big one. What are your thoughts on signal chains for your modulation effects? Does it matter as much as drives?
It really does. It has a... There's a really good example in the show we did recently where we changed, with the fuzz show,
Yeah.
we changed the position of the univibe before and after fuzz. And that's a really stark example. For if you have the univibe first going into fuzz, you get what's the name of that track?
Who's that lady?
Isley
by
Brothers.
Ernie Isley.
Yeah, Ernie Isley. It's very very detailed, very fizzy in the top end.
Could almost be a synth
Yep.
kind of deal.
Yep. Swap them around, and the fuzz tempers all of that top end from the phasing, and it's a whole different thing. So yes, it's really important. Some, it's not better or worse, but it's a very different result.
Yeah, it's quite... The good news is if you try pick whatever modulation effect it is you're talking about, if you try it before and after overdrive, you will pretty much instantly prefer one of them, so that's easy.
Yep.
Maybe the question is, what about if you've got a phaser, a chorus and a flanger? Does that matter?
And again, yeah, just try each one at a time. Like, for example, I like my chorus after my drives, but I definitely like my phasers before my drives.
But what about if you've got a phaser, a flanger, and let's forget the drives for a sec.
Yep.
3 modulation pedals, does that matter?
Oh, it does, but less so.
And only if you're using 2 of them together.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
The one to look out for is tremolo, and really you want your tremolo after your delay. So you want your tremolo downstream, for the simple fact that because of it ducks the note up and down. If you hit a note when it's ducked down, no note.
Yeah.
And then you might end up with some weird things that happen after that. Whereas if it's right at the end, yes, that will still happen, but at least with delays and stuff, it's not throwing the delay off.
Yeah. It'll be like a master modulating amplitude control. So you can have a massive delays and stuff going all over the place, but the tremolo with it at the end will modulate the whole signal instead of being modulated, and that gets repeated and repeated, and that can get a bit messy.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah, but as always,
Got to get your hands dirty.
yeah, process of elimination. So start small, start with a couple of things and understand what you're hearing, and then start to add stuff. I think it's probably the best way to do it. P Design P, thank you for your generosity. P Design P says, after waiting almost a year and a half, I finally received my Dan Drive Austin Pride.
Oh, wow.
The best, it sounds very loud.
You noticed that, right?
To match pedals, I placed the Keeley Katana after and rolled the level down.
Yeah.
Would that be a good way to do it?
Fantastic way to do
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, it's really interesting that if you think of the gain stages and the impedance and everything, depending on where the volume is, but we're talking about it with a fuzz, so that the volume pot goes right at the end, and the impedance is different with the volume pot all the way up or halfway down.
Yeah.
And it changes the sound of the pedal. So that, what you're describing there is a fantastic way to do it, to use that Keeley Katana as a master volume. But with lots of overdrives and things, the volume control isn't just a passive pot at the end of the circuit. It can be it's an integral part of the gain stage.
Has a significant effect on the sort of tonality of it. The other good thing about having a Katana on afterwards is a lot of fuzzes. I don't know about the Austin Pride especially, but a lot of fuzzes are very sensitive, or at least are extremely affected by buffers after. So if you've got your fuzz on and then you step on, say, your delay and it buffers it, suddenly everything gets very bright. So what you're doing by adding the Katana after the fuzz is you're regulating that, and you're saying, this is it, it's on all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing that happens after this now is going to cause me a problem. So it's a really good way to do it. In fact, we did some filming last week. We actually made the Strat show, didn't we? Most of it.
I cannot wait for you to see it, man. You were on fire.
Well, thank you.
It was just glorious.
It was nice to make some noise with the Strat.
We filmed it on Thursday, and I was on a high all weekend after
mate.
filming that. It was really inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I think my brain was too much in thinking mode to really understand what was going on.
It's so good.
But
So good.
I used the Dan Drive Tweedy, which is the same. It's crazy loud, and you can turn it down, but it sounds really good when it's turned up.
Yeah.
So I used the Tweedy and something after to turn it down. So
Great.
yeah, that's a great way to do it. Jim Metzendorf. Hi, Jim. We don't seem to have a super chat from you, so I will check my phone in a minute if BV is texting me, which he may be. Is my phone on the desk there? Hey. Thanks, man. Good. Simon has done the edit for this week's show, Daniel. How good is that?
Fabulous.
Maniacal Lion, nice to hear from you.
Mate.
Up there in that place where we went.
Minneapolis?
There, exactly there.
Minneapolis.
I think so. Oh yeah, much love from Minnesota. Been trying to take a few weeks and recharge, step back and do some of the self-help I've been putting off. Ha ha.
Well done, mate.
Good
That's
for
brilliant.
you.
Yep.
Good for you. Top of the Bunday Legends, says Aaron from Albus Band. Did you guys catch Tom Bukovac on Tome Talk? Hope you're both well. An excellent playing last episode. Truly loved it. Thank you, Aaron. I haven't seen that yet. I should see that.
No, I haven't seen it.
No.
I haven't seen it. I saw it was out, so I've got to make some time to go and watch. Normally, Tom's shows are like, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But I think that it's 2 hours on Tone Talk, so I've got to put some
Why
time
do people
aside.
put these long shows out on YouTube? I mean,
Ridiculous.
who would do that? William Moranto. Hi, William. He says, greetings from Louisiana, USA. You guys are great. Really enjoyed the UA Starlight episode. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, it was a very low view video for us. I think, be interested to get your opinion on this, actually. We think people are bored of product reviews. And because of the thumbnail, people just assume it's a product review. And they're like, I don't want to watch a product review.
Yeah.
It's all phooey anyway. So that's our, unless we're just deeply unpopular, which is also possible.
That's what, that's why I'm trying hats. It can go one of two ways.
So yeah, let us know if you didn't watch it, or you kind of looked at it and you thought, well, that's another expensive pedal I don't really need, nor do I want to be tempted to buy it. I think there's a big lot of that going on out there.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Catherine. Maybe there's a problem.
Quick, hide.
All right, Bebbers.
Yes, surroundings, use the facilities.
Oh, I see. I thought there was some sort of technical error.
No. Well, there could be if I don't use the facilities.
Very good.
Yeah, good. Sorry, I'm just logging into a different screen to get the live comments on the why no one watched the UA Starlight video.
Did you get the Matt Parker comment?
I might get there in a minute.
Okay.
Wow. There you go. Another ad on the front of this. So, binoculars. Monocular. Who knew it was called a monocular? Monocle. Monocular.
Monocular.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hang on. I do believe that's a lesser spotted woodpecker in the tree over there. I'll just get my monocular. What armada. Oh dear.
Isn't it just like a gun scope without the crosshairs?
Okay. Kind of. Yeah, without the fun, yeah. Average Aardvark says the reason I didn't watch it is because I'd already seen the Andertons review.
Oh.
And if yours had been the first, I would have watched that first. I tell you what I find interesting about that is, do you assume we're going to say the same thing about it then? Because, you know, with due respect to our dear friends at Anderson's, they're there to sell stuff. That's their job.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but good. Thank you for that feedback.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Mojo67 says, I agree with Matt. Hat reviews. The correct hat improves the tone.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Just watched the trailer for Water, says Tremolo68. Looks really bad, but good. It's one of those films that just would not get made anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Dino Guitar Guy says, yeah, bored with product reviews. But watched, and it wasn't a product review.
There you go.
So that's good. Who else? Yeah, Curtis R. Curtis, you have confirmed our suspicions. I think the UA stuff has been popping up in a billion review channels. That might be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your video wasn't the review, and it's terrific. Well, thank you for that. But I think you're right. I think the way Fender did the Acoustasonic launch,
Yeah.
it was like,
Just everywhere.
blimey.
And it's, you know, nothing against it. It's a fantastic product.
Yeah.
But you couldn't turn on your socials without it being everywhere.
Yeah. That's it. Good. Well, thank you. There's quite an interesting... Khaled Almana says, in case you guys didn't know, mono means one. We do know that. We do know that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. But interestingly, a bike with one wheel isn't called... Oh, yeah, it is.
It's a uni.
A monocycle.
Unicycle.
Well, isn't a unicycle one with a big wheel at the front and the small wheel at the back?
No.
So a unicycle is one.
Yeah.
Do you get monocycles as well? No, okay,
No.
so unicycle.
I think that's a unicycle.
Yeah,
You're
so-
thinking about a penny farthing, that sort of thing.
Oh, a penny farthing, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it a uniocular then? A uniocular instead of a binocular?
I think there are many words for numbers.
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
yeah, yeah. Adrian Jordan says, what's the blue Strat sat in front of Mix 335? Looks too dark to be blue. It's the Carl Longbottom custom that he made us. It's in the Strat show. Because one of the questions we ask is, why don't you just put a more powerful pickup in the bridge position? And this one's got a P90.
There you go.
That was
There
my
you go.
suspense chord, Dan, just so you know.
Well, I'm suspended.
Super interesting guitar, this actually. English sycamore, maybe? Solid section through the middle and hollowed out all around the edges. Very resonant guitar.
I'm getting my long bottom custom tele hybrid thing with the high range pickups. It's going to be shipped back this week. I'm very excited. Cal sent me videos of the process.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we should totally get into that.
Yeah. I'm doing a vlog on it. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I did watch it, says Gary O'Neill, but I've seen so many of the UA pedals lately, and if I'm honest, there's better out there. Fair enough.
Interesting.
And Tony Brooks, people watch review videos all the time. If they didn't, YouTube Guitar Works, and there's been loads on it already. Yes. Yeah. I think that's right. So then
We did wait.
we try not to be first with stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, manufacturers make sure that we're not first with stuff. They make damn sure we're not first with stuff. So they make sure all the retailers and their own videos go out first, which is what you would do if you're a manufacturer, isn't it? That's what I would do.
Indeed.
Anyway, blah blah blah. Theodore KB, I still don't get the UA thing. No MIDI, $100 more than a Strymon. Made in, which is USA made. UA is made in Malaysia. How can they justify that price? Yeah, well, all interesting observations. Martin Cable, what a fantastic question this is, Martin. What happens if the music you like isn't the music you're good at?
Oh, wow.
Maybe you want to be a shredder, but you're good at acoustic folk. How do you accept your voice if it's not what you thought it was or wanted it to be? What a great question.
Wow.
It's an onion, this one.
It really is, because, you know, I could be, let's take that to the extreme. I might be really awesome at high-rise construction, and I could make an amazing career out of doing that. But if I was loathing going to work every single day, does it, you know, is that where I want to be? If I used to shred, but I can't shred for toffee now, right? The facilities are not there anymore. But if all I wanted to do was shred, and I spent every day trying to improve with my shred, and even the tiny little bit of gain would give me so much joy and so much pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you've got to follow your heart, surely, because it is art, right? It is expression.
Yeah, but he's saying
He's saying if
he's kind of good at something, but he doesn't really like it.
yeah, so do what you like. That's what I'm saying. Follow your passion.
Yeah. Yeah, because what you might be into here is a bit of the polite way of describing it is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Can we get like a philosophy horn or a buzzer or something?
Philosophy warning.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've decided I'm going to be a philosopher in my next career, because now that we all live a bit longer if we're lucky, you know.
Once you wheel me out to pasture,
Yeah.
then you're going off to be a philosopher.
No, we are both going to need third careers, Dan, because pensions don't exist
No.
anymore. They won't by the time we need them.
No. Thank you, boomers.
Our grandfathers finished work at 65 if they made it that far, and then they keeled over, didn't they?
Yeah.
Within 7 years. 7 years was the stat. That's how long you lived. Back in the day. I'm ready. And if you're lucky enough to make it that far, obviously. But of course, as time goes on, we will live a bit longer, and therefore those of us who are going to finish work 60, 65. I mean, my old man is 77.
Right.
And he's looking for a new job because he's bored. You know, he just can't. He doesn't want to stop.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, if you're watching, you know, he'd just be bored out of his tree. So we're going to need it.
Yeah.
We're going to need third careers. I'm going to be a philosopher. Anyway, I'm
Can you sit on a mountain and just wear nothing but sheets?
going to make my own mountain
Yes. Very good.
out of. No, I'm not going to say that. So you could be creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You could be telling yourself that you're not very good at something to justify not putting the work in to do it.
Interesting.
And the less polite way of explaining that is it's a life lie. And you tell yourself life lies to justify the position that you're in. Whereas actually, if you can just look it straight in the eye and go, well, I want to be good at that, and I'm willing to put the work in, then you may get better at it. But I feel you, because all the music I love is, you know, American blues, alt country.
Yeah, but you're it's different for you though.
But that's where my heart is.
Exactly.
And that's the music I'm probably best at.
Yes, there you go.
But it's not mine.
It's not anyone's until they make it.
Culturally, it is yours if you're from
I don't,
that part of the world.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
I do. I mean,
because
when I hear Elton John sing,
yeah,
I feel angry. Mick Jagger, the same. Fakers. What a bunch of fakers, you know. Goodbye, Norma Jean. He's not from America. He's from England.
You don't have to sing with a heavy Southern accent.
No, but
you just do your thing.
You need to. You should. Well, in my opinion, an artist needs to be themselves.
Yeah.
Because but of course, pop stars aren't that. Pop stars are, you know, Taylor Swift and Taylor are two different people.
Right.
A friend of mine used to know Kylie Minogue, and they had this very nice chat one afternoon, and I think he was doing some work with her and whatever, and she said, "Okay, I'll see you later. I need to put Kylie back on."
Right. Yeah, but
and that's the way she. So pop stars is one thing,
of course, because there's the person and there's the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. We all.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you really connect with that music.
Yeah.
That makes it yours as much as anyone's. You don't have to be just because you're not American doesn't mean you can't play that stuff. I really disagree with that.
Yeah,
because music, it's everyone.
I think it's a bit phony for me personally. I don't feel.
I think as long as you're not pretending,
truthful.
as long as you're not pretending to be American and you're doing your thing.
Goodbye, no, Jean. It actually makes me angry. But of course, when I sing like that, right? So I if I sing American songs, then if you do American covers, you kind of want to sound a bit like the person singing it. And it's not like, I don't think I'm going to sing in an American accent. I sing how it comes out.
Yeah.
And it annoys me. It annoys the crap out of me.
You're reading a lot into that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But I think it goes on from your question, Martin. Oh my God, we are tangenting this week, Dan.
The reason we decided not to have the amps on today, we thought, no, let's leave at 7 o'clock and make sure that, so we'll just get through the super chats and stuff. And from Word Hat, we were off. Boy, oh boy.
But how do you accept your voice if it's not what you thought it was or wanted it to be? I
don't think that's your voice.
I don't know. I mean, if you look at, I don't know, I'm going to be controversial and talk about some singers who I don't think are very good singers, but are some of the biggest stars in the world, like Bob Dylan, for example.
Right. I think he's an amazing singer.
He's a good singer. He doesn't. No, he's got a great voice. He's not a very good singer.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and by good I mean, of course he's a good singer. He's one of the most famous artists on the planet. He sells out stadiums and large venues. Of course he's a great singer compared to an opera singer or a classical singer or Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, the guy's got soul and he's got passion and he's singing from his heart.
So that rather proves the point that, you know what, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is that it's...
Yeah, totally. That's
what matters.
Yep.
And I think if you can find a way to output that, get Billy Bragg.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see Billy Bragg, it's not necessarily the music I would choose to listen to, but every time I see him, I'm totally captivated by him.
Yep.
And I believe him.
Totally. And every time I hear Johnny Cash, it's the same thing for me. His
connection.
Oh man, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Just integrity. It's what art's about. You feel it.
Connection.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we say, Martin, have the courage of your conviction and do it, which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
Paul Matulovic. Hi, Paul. Morning. To be on topic, is there a good way to tell straight off if a delay or reverb is analog dry through before tossing it in a wet dry? Can you tell by feel? It
can be really tricky if it's like a 1 millisecond delay. It's hard to tell. But just pull up the anything that's analog dry through will say so in the manual. If it's not,
it probably won't.
It probably won't say it in the manual. So you might have to hunt around a bit. as soon as you put it in a wet dry rig, you'll feel it.
Yeah, and
That's
you
a tricky
might
thing.
need to look at the waveforms. We've had a thing. We did Dan's pedalboard last week, and he had the matchless and the super reverb, and we were struggling with phase with that, which we think we put down to the 10-inch speakers because
Yeah.
no matter which way you flipped it, something wasn't quite right. So, yeah, it should say in the manual.
Indeed.
And a quick email to customer services at whatever company it is.
Yeah.
They should get back to you.
Yep.
Jacob Bartelt. Hello, Jacob.
Hey,
nice to hear
mate.
from you as always. He says, great show on the UA Starlight. What's your all-time favourite simple tape delay? Thanks for giving back to the TPS community and for being awesome. Well, thank you.
Bless you. Thank you, mate.
So, simple tape delay that isn't a tape delay, presumably.
Yeah. Al Capistan. I've always managed to get wonderful sounds out of that without really trying.
Mine's Belly Book Deluxe or the Empress tape delay
The Empress tape delay, yeah, that's classic.
is really great.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
the
El Capistan.
straight El Cap
Yeah.
for me. There's the reverb in it as well. Magic.
My Butterscotch Squire 50s telly just got some upgrades this weekend, says George Radcliffe.
Lovely.
6 hours of hand finishing, bone nut, fret level, tuners, electronics, and Lola vintage pickups.
There you go.
So he's saying, what are the pros and cons of a 4-way telly mod for this guitar?
So the 4-way telly mod, for anyone that doesn't know, it puts the normal position on the telly. You have bridge pickup. You've got the in-between, and then you've got the neck pickup.
For modern wiring.
The fourth position puts the pickups in series, and you get a big boost thing, and lots of people really like it. I've got it in my
In the grey.
grey T style guitar, and I never use it. But only because that's enough for me. All the sounds I need are there. But it's a really cool big sound if that's what you're into. Yeah, but if a traditional teletone is what you're after, yeah. The problem I have with it as well is because it's located at the end, and I'm with the neck pickup all the time. So when I go there and I've got to come back one,
Right.
it's a pain in the backside.
Yeah. You would have thought they could have put it on position 4.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Not for you. I don't have any experience of pickups in series. I think Brian May is the person who comes to mind. I think he had the option of having his
Got series and
pickups
power
in series.
and phase switches on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to say hello to 5.5-year-old Declan.
Hey Declan.
Hey, Declan.
Hope you're awesome, mate.
He's watching with his dad, Matt Parker.
Nice.
And Declan wants to come and meet us and play our guitars.
Awesome. Declan, you're very welcome, bud. You're
If you
very
could give him a
welcome.
shout out, that would make his day. Well, thanks so much, Matt and Declan. You'll have to tell your dad which is your favourite guitar,
Yep.
and he can tell us. Mark Lavinish. Hi, Mark. He says, I just got my constable and paige from Simon. I wanted to share it because my fiance finds it impossible to fake any kind of interest. Simon is a prince. He really is. What a nice thing you've got there, Mark. Constable. Takes a minute to get the varying levels of master volume, the output impedance, and all that, just to dial it in. But when you dial it in,
Magic.
it's really great.
Yep. Magic thing.
And you know how much we love the page. Gordon Rankin. Thank you, Gordon. That's very kind. Nice to hear from you. 40-watt podcast. Mick, I blame you. I sold one of my vintage super reverbs because I bought a 2-rock traditional clean with a 2x12. Thanks
Wow.
for turning me on to 2-rock. Cool, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, fantastic amp in both directions.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Well, on behalf of 2-rock, welcome
Yeah.
to the 2-rock family. It's a nice place.
I love the view from up here.
I've stopped going on their website. I'm so gassing for a TS1,
What's that?
the Dumble.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. Recently got the Harmonious Monk, says John Furlow. It has turned into an always-on pedal. Just fills out the sound so much that I feel like something is missing if I turn it off. Thanks
Yeah.
for such a great pedal.
Well, you're very welcome. And the guys at Jam absolutely knocked it out of the park. They were just sensational to work with, and miss them. I can't wait to get back over there and see them again.
It was one of the most satisfying bits of R&D I've ever been around, because they sent us the first prototype and we were like, yep.
We're on the way.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but.
Yeah.
And then we went out and we tweaked, and they were like, yep, but yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but. And it was in terms of sound, it felt very collaborative.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And the way they just put the finishing touches to it and finished it off. Actually, we ought to say a massive thank you to Yanis and the team there, who sent us a couple of very nice Achenbach special edition custom shop artwork ones.
Unreal.
I opened it up to it. I was like, ooh. For those of you who don't know, John Achenbach is a Simpsons artist, and he has various series of artwork pedals with Jam, and it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I think there's a mutual admiration of art there.
Well, John Achenbach actually took us when we were in LA, and John gave us a guided tour of the Simpsons studios last time we were there. And he actually drew some Simpsons stuff for us, and
It was nuts.
it was just crazy.
We've got them framed up, so if you ever come and do
boy.
experience days here, once we get them rolling, you'll see John's artwork here. Amazing.
Yeah, wonderful guy.
David Rogel says, simple question. Why do so many classic amps have 4 input jacks? What were people doing in the 60s that was 400% as complicated as plugging into a loud thing that required a mini patch bay?
Very interesting question. So the 4 input thing was for like a high output or a low output thing, and often was used with a microphone.
Yeah.
And yes,
Because it wouldn't just be one thing plugging in.
no, it was the amplifiers back then were like mini PA systems.
Yeah.
You'd plug in as many things as you could.
Now, it's a bit different on a Vox. So a Vox AC30 has 6 inputs, and that's because there were 3 channels.
Yep, you got your normal channel, you got your top boost channel or your bright channel with EF86, and then you got your vibrato channel.
Yeah.
So
that is the mini PA that Dan is talking about. So somebody shakes their head and said, "Oh, he's got a Vox," and they all stand behind.
he's in the band.
They all stand behind it as well. So it's out the front, and they're all stood behind it. The Marshall and Fender 4 input doesn't quite work that way. You've got where is it? Oh, I don't know where it's gone. Someone's had off with our Marshall down. Oh no, there it is. 2 channels, high treble and normal, one of which is very bright and gainy, and the other which is pretty flat. And you've got high and low sensitivity inputs for both. So one's got less gain than the other. So 2 channels, 2 gain input options. And that's the way it was on Fenders too. So if you see an old Twin, it's got 2 inputs. One is like, I don't know what it is, 8 dB off or something like that. So it's a lower sensitivity input. But of course, what people discovered, particularly on the 4 input Marshalls, was that if you bridged the 2 channels, you could use them both at the same time.
Yeah, it's very clever.
Hooray.
That whole system, the high and low input thing,
Yeah.
it's very, very clever.
And then you can use it to do really cool things like wet dry. So you can come out of the one through a bunch of pedals into the other channel and mix within the amp. So it's a cool way to do it, gives you a bit more flexibility. But as you say, modern amps tend to only have 1 input. Quite often there might be a bright switch or a input pad or something like that, or there's enough variance in the gain control to not require a second low input, as it were. On the subject of the high watt, we want to say a big thanks to Coda Music in Stevenage.
Indeed.
Who, I follow them on Instagram. If you don't follow Coda on Instagram, please do it. They have really nice stuff. And lo and behold, a high watt WEM 412 with the right grill cloth and 4 Fein crescendos came up in their second hand.
Yes.
I sent a picture to Dan and said, "What do you think?" And Dan's like, "What do you think I think?" So it's like, boom. We spent all our sweets money on a new 4x12 cab, which is brilliant in 2021, isn't it?
Wonderful, wonderful. Who was saying that they're like during the pandemic, where there were no gigs, the highest volume of sales were for like 100-watt amplifiers?
Yeah, I've had at least one amp company tell me that their biggest selling product through the pandemic was a 100-watt head.
It just
Given that they also
brings
make
joy to my
things that aren't
bones.
100-watt
Yeah,
heads. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Airfire says I got a £500 bonus from work. Get
in, mate. Well done.
I want to add a semi-hollow to my collection, or maybe upgrade my katana to a Blues Junior or a Hot Rod Deluxe. I love the content as always. I would go the guitar route personally.
Right.
Depending on what you've got, depending on what guitar you already have. Well, okay, so it comes with a caveat. If you get to play out and play loud, get a Hot Rod Deluxe.
Yeah.
Because you'll love that.
Yep.
If you don't get to do that quite so much, and what you're looking for is a bit more inspiration, then for sure another guitar will really widen your horizon.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah. I picked up that Epiphone Casino for 290 quid on eBay.
That's around the correct dollar mark.
I put 300 quid's worth of pickups in it and £100 worth of wiring. And I am tempted to play this guitar more than any other at the moment.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It even
Nice.
plays suspense chords.
Look at you. Very good.
Yeah, what a fantastic value guitar that has turned out to be. Congrats on the bonus. Bonuses from work are brilliant, aren't they?
They're wonderful.
Oh, this is a good question from Paul Matulovic. He says, if we use one of your affiliate links, will you still get a cut if we buy something besides the linked item? Rhett said that's how it worked on his Amazon links. I think it does, you know.
Yeah, I believe so.
Simply because when I look at the analytics, we end up getting a bit of cash for something that we've never played.
Yeah.
So that must be how it works. Just for the record, the ones to Pedal Empire in Australia and Anderson's aren't affiliate links, but the ones to the USA are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if it's a Sweetwater one, then yeah.
Yeah, great.
Great. And thank you for even thinking about that.
Yeah, thank you, mate. That's very kind.
That's a big
Thank
deal.
you.
Sean Jones, hi from Austin. Hello to Austin.
Have you been at Austin?
I played in the Continental Club with oh God, what's his name? I can't believe I promise you it's tip of the tongue theory. I do know what his name is. I'm just Red Volkart, sorry.
Really?
Yeah. I was there visiting Collings, and Steve McCreary, who's the general manager there, pulled a massive favour with Red Volkart. Red Volkart never has anyone up to play, and apparently Steve was like, you know,
Willing you to do well.
being so kind. Apparently, as I walked up to the stage, he said to Catherine, "Can he actually play?" Anyway, Red was very gracious and entirely everything you would expect him to be.
Wow.
Welcoming, kind, and I don't know, we played through a couple shuffles and a slow blues and it was awesome. So yes, I've been to Austin.
Yeah, you could have just said yes.
Yeah, it was, well,
That's awesome, mate.
trip of a lifetime. It was actually my 40th birthday, and Catherine got me my most prized guitar of all, and we went there to choose it. My favourite guitar in the world ever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably won't be in tune.
Perfectly.
Nick on my plectrum, Dan.
I can hear it.
Warm up required. Is it on my plectrum? Yeah, anyway. Sorry, reminiscing.
Magic. Magic.
See if I can get some more dings on it. I'm also more careful with that guitar than I am any of my other guitars. I just need to check something. Okay. Anyway, sorry, Sean actually did have a question in all of that. I'm interested in using my CXM, Sean Jones, I'm interested in using my CXM 78 as an outboard effect for pre-recorded tracks. Do I need additional equipment to do so, like a reamp box? Have you experimented with this? No, you don't. It'll take line levels, so I don't know whether
Just
you're
plug it in.
doing it from your recording interface or direct on any other instrument. You can use it on pretty much anything.
Yeah.
In fact, Tony from Soundgas is a wonderful place in the north of England that
Magical place.
it sells all manner of amazing things, and sold us our desk and provided the Space Echo.
Yep. Also fixed my
Echo rack.
my baby rack. Yep.
Yeah. And
Echo, yep.
they do like posh, proper studio stuff. They know their onions. Seriously, know their onions.
Check them out on Instagram. Soundgas. Honestly, the stuff that goes through that shop
Anyway,
is mind blowing.
Tony's personal studio has a CXM 78 as the outboard reverb.
Awesome. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, you can, Sean. Yes. Brendan O'Shea. Hello, Brendan. Long time listener. He says hi, folks. I'm waiting for the postman to bring my newly acquired Arc Effects Clone 2. Have you any experience with these? Looks like a match from my Marshall Origin. I haven't, I don't think.
No. Who's it by?
Arc Effects. I think we've only ever done one of their pedals.
Right.
I don't know if it was that one. If it's a good clone, it will be good.
Oh, okay.
If that's what it is. You know, there's nothing secretive left about that circuit now, I don't think.
No.
And everyone's making a nice one, and Arc Effects make really lovely stuff, so no doubt it will be really good. It's interesting with the Klon. Some people really gel with it, some people really don't, and I think it's how you use it that makes the difference with that.
Mm-hmm.
True of all gear, but especially true with the Klon. You know, I think a lot of the Klon haters sort of plug it in and go, wow, this hasn't done anything for me. It just sounds a bit spikier and a bit thinner. But yeah.
If you're playing in a band,
Yeah.
and then it's a different thing.
Yeah. It does a very specific thing, does the Klon.
It does.
Anyway, hope you enjoy it. Matt Lloyd. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
I recently bought my son a Strat Mini. Lucky boy. And I replaced the pickups with Fat 50s. I was considering Fat 60s. The wiring is different. One tone knob, it sounds too dark. The pots are 250k and the caps are 22s, 0.022. What are your thoughts? That's interesting that it sounds dark. So
Yeah.
the Strat Mini is going to be short scale length, one would assume. So it could be something, well, as you shorten the scale length, the presence of mid-range compared to the bass and treble changes. So it could be that. You could be hearing like a bunch of lower mids.
But the Fat 50 is darker than the 60s.
I don't actually know. It depends. So my Fat 60s, I think, are your classic... Do you know, I don't even know. My assumption is they're your classic slab board set,
Right.
but they might not be. They,
Grey bottom things?
No, I would assume they're, black bottom form var wire,
Right. Okay.
like 59 to 64 kind of pickup.
Right.
But if they're not that, if they're after that and they've got the enamel wire, and I think they went to an Alnico or stronger Alnico 5 maybe, they will be a bit brighter. And if the Fat 50s, the 50s one should be brightish though,
Yeah, totally.
depending on what era 50s they are.
Oh, check your selector switch. If you have any switch cleaner, I don't know if it's old and like mine was, but I found by giving that a clean, it brought a whole bunch of top end back. So just make sure
clean
that's
it all
all
through.
Clean the pots
Make
and
sure
stuff.
your grounds are all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly 500k pots will allow a little less treble to bleed to ground, but it shouldn't make that much difference when they're in a full-on position. A bit of difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think a lot
It
of
will do.
difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 500k pots then, try that. You could also try some better saddles. You'd be amazed what difference that makes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would imagine being a Strat Mini, it's probably, I'm guessing it probably got cast saddles, so you could try some bent steel saddles, which will sound a bit brighter. And then the trem block makes a big difference.
All the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nickel strings.
Richard Avila says, greetings from Garland, Texas. Dan, what are your thoughts on a Seth Lover wide range pickups? Thank you guys for the inspiration.
So I've just been through this whole journey. I was going to buy the reissues and they were out of stock, and Carl was going to... So basically, Carl Longbottom, who made a couple of guitars for Mick and myself, he sent me this T-style guitar and I loved it. The neck was really lovely. But I've got, my favourite teles in the world. I've got them. So I wanted something a bit different. So I said, why don't we put a Strat bridge in it and some wide range humbuckers? One of the best rock guitar sounds I've ever heard was from an old 70s thin line that my mate had in Australia, and it had those wide range humbuckers. And I just never forget the sound of that guitar. It's magic. So we went hunting for these pickups, and Fender reissued the. They've done versions of them before, but their latest reissue is the proper one with the cuneiform magnets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they weren't around, and a bit more research, and I found the Creamery. Jamie at the Creamery, he's a massive fan of those wide range humbuckers, and he's done loads of research, and he's also fixed them for loads of people. Now, interestingly, those cuneiform magnets are probably the weak point of those pickups because they lose their charge quite easily, and he's had to recharge loads of those pickups over the years. So he's found a way to replicate, or he's found magnets to replicate the magnetic field of those particular magnets, and he's designed a wide range humbucker that's just more stable but has that classic wide range sound. So I bought 2 of those. Carl's put them in the guitar. He's finished the guitar, sent me a video on the weekend, and it's being shipped down to me tomorrow. So I can't wait.
Oh, cool.
But short answer to your question, wide range humbucker, I'm in.
Well, let's see.
I'm in.
I can't wait to hear it. I'm hoping that my Jason Isbell tele will arrive before the end of time.
Oh, wow.
So we could do
Have a tele show.
all our T-shaped guitars.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm going to turn the super chats off because we've got a lot to get through, and it is now 6 o'clock. So anyone who's super chatted up till now, we'll answer you. So please, no more super chats. I'm turning it off. No. Turn off. Nice.
Yeah, well done, mate.
So then, where are we? Matt says, oh, sorry, I meant to say hey. Well, hey, Matt.
Hey,
obviously.
Matt.
Hello, mate. Thank you for being here. What are your thoughts on 3-bolt neck, says the Juggernaut TV2. Any stability issues? It could mean the difference in my next guitar being a Vintera or a Squier Classic Vibe. Cheers.
I've played loads of those guitars, and I thought they were fantastic. Is it not a Strat to you, though?
No, it's not that. I think there's 2 issues, right? So one is the nature of having 3 bolts or 4. Does that make it inherently less stable?
Right.
I would say if the neck pocket is good, I'm sure it's fine.
Yep.
But those of you who play a lot of Strats will know that whether there's 3 or 4 bolts, they move around a bit, and the famous kind of hand on the top of the thing. I did that on someone's old Strat once, and he nearly kicked me. You basically put your... And it was a really idiotic thing to do on an old guitar. But anyway,
did it work?
If you watch someone who knows what they're doing with guitars, they'll do it every time.
Right.
So yeah, logic says that if you secure something in 4 places, it can physically move less than if you secure it in 3 places, depending on where that bolt is. Usher in Tom Anderson's 1-bolt neck, or 2 bolts maybe.
Wow.
And you can guarantee that's probably better than any Fender
Yeah,
neck,
sure.
neck joint ever made.
Yeah.
So maybe yes, maybe no, not necessarily. In either case, if you get the neck sat right and you don't yank it about, it should be okay.
Yeah.
My main guitar for years was a 3-bolt.
Is that what?
That was.
Wow.
And I converted it to 4-bolt.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why. 'Cause I was an idiot. What we're saying is don't let that be it's a modern guitar made with CNC machining. Don't let that be your guiding factor. Go with the guitar that you like the look of the most. What are your thoughts on the BB Sonic Stomp for an always-on thing, says all things Weatherly.
Is that the... Oh, what do they call it? The enhancer circuit.
Yeah, so BB are famous for their Sonic Maximizer.
That's the one, the Sonic Maximizer.
Yeah, I don't know if the Sonic Stomp is the same sort of thing, but it just, to me, it sounds like a massive buffer.
Right.
And I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
We've
Let's
got-
have a look at it, because we've got
We've got one somewhere.
Lee Anderson sent us one to have a play with.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a play with it. It's really interesting. I remember seeing a poster with Bruce Kulick when he was playing with Kiss, talking about his Sonic Maximizer, saying how much he loved it. So yeah, it's very, very interesting.
The one that I really like is the Taurus Servo. That is a really great
Always on thing.
always-on thing,
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
which does that buffery, boosty... Let's be honest, it's there because all the other crap you've got between your guitar and your amp is causing loads of problems. Add that, it takes those problems away and adds a whole other load of problems. Doesn't it? That's
well,
the-
it depends if you perceive them as problems.
okay. All the things that are happening between your guitar and amp in terms of capacitance and signal loss, you put that in there, it solves all those things and adds some more things.
Indeed. Yeah. To solve those
And the
things, it
Sonic
has to add other
Maximizer
things.
does the same thing.
Right.
It's not necessarily the same product or the same sound, but that's what it's there to do. So, buffers, man.
It's a thing.
It's what everyone wants to know about. And I guess in the BBE literature, they'll say it's not a buffer, it's a Sonic Maximizer.
Well, yeah, still buffer the signal.
Yeah, so it'll be some, I don't know whether it has a frequency variance or something like that. Yeah, but if you're finding your sound to be dull and lifeless, needs a bit more air, presence, punch, those sorts of things can work really well for that. Howdy, gents. Cats are also amazing, says David Burke.
They are amazing. They're very independent.
No arguments from me about
Yep.
cats being
Yep.
amazing.
We've got this one cat that lives near us called Charlie, and he won't take the dog for a walk. He's the loveliest cat, and he comes out and has play with the dog. Yeah, so absolutely.
He says they've resisted humankind's attempts over the millennia to be trained to do work for us. And we still keep them around and work for them. Yes, it's very true. Welcome to that pet show. Yeah. Yep. No arguments here. Brian Garcia. Hi, Brian. Thanks for adding positive energy to my Mondays, he says. Recently watched your Speaker Cab episode. Mick mentioned pairing his 2-Rock with a WGS 12L. Did this come to fruition? If so, what were your thoughts? Yeah, I've got WGS 12Ls in my 1x12 2-Rock cab, and also in one of my Zilla Dumble Type 112s.
I think it's magic sounding.
Dan actually prefers it
Yeah,
to the
I do.
212.
It's wonderful.
It's a great sounding thing.
Yeah.
It's a great sounding thing. I think it's been a long time since I've heard a proper EV. I had him in my Boogies years ago, and the Boogie version thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the kind of thing that everyone says about EVs is they're like harsh and loud and unpleasant. That's the last thing that speaker is.
Yeah.
It's so super together on everything.
Yeah.
I would recommend it unreservedly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Records beautifully. It just
It does record well, actually.
records beautifully, and with as you get louder and louder and louder, you're not hearing the speaker
Yeah.
fall apart.
Yeah.
With so many other speakers, it's wonderful.
I think the 2-Rock speaker's got a bit more character in it.
Right.
And I think, cranked and patent pending, I definitely prefer the 212.
Right.
But nobody needs it.
No.
It's not required anymore, really, unfortunately. The 112 is more than enough. And as part of the tangent, one of the reasons I started using the 112 messes with EVs years ago was because it was the loudest amp you could get.
Right. Interesting.
And the whole cliche of, it sounding bigger than someone with a 412 was sort of kind of true. It wasn't actually true because the bottom end wasn't there, but it was certainly louder and more...
Right. Focused. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. When being loud was, the thing you needed to be. Cheers from Pennsylvania. Says Ethan Walthier.
I watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show with my daughter last weekend.
Was that awkward?
And no, it was really fun actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Pennsylvania. It just reminds me of it. That's all.
Transylvania, I think you're thinking.
Yeah,
of.
I know, but it's a Vania.
What's your favourite genre of music that you enjoy listening to, but do not enjoy playing?
That's so interesting. I've just been listening to so much jazz lately, but I'm getting better at playing it. It's really hard. But yeah, man. No, if I really enjoy listening to it, I'll have a go at it.
You
I won't
enjoy
be
playing it?
Oh, just if I can create any of those sounds harmonically. It's like if I listen to classical music, which I do from time to time. There's a few pieces that I really like, and some of the movements, it's just astounding that harmony was. They guys were doing that back then, and so if I listen to someone like Jacob Collier, some of the stuff that he's done harmonically, and I try and get some of that voice thingy stuff on guitar, and it's torture. But even if I can just get one change, it's like just fills me with so much joy.
Yeah. See, I find his stuff torture to listen to.
Right, there you go.
Because it's so on.
Oh, okay.
It's
right.
so perfect.
Right.
There's no grease there at all. It's just wheels.
I'll do my version of it. It'll be all grease.
I'll enjoy that.
All grease.
Yeah. So let's see. So the favourite genres of music that I enjoy listening to are modern country, rock, whatever you want to call that, Jason Isbell, and then singer-songwriter stuff, Sarah Jarosz, Aoife O'Donovan. That's the stuff I'm listening to day in, day out. But then I drove Dan in the other day and he's like, wow, you listen to a lot of stuff. Because I think, what do we have on? Frank Zappa,
Yep.
Pat Metheny,
Yep.
a bunch of stuff.
And you knew it all. You knew it all, which was so impressive.
Yeah,
You have a really broad range. It's lovely, but broad from Zappa to.
I will equally likely be listening to Maren Morris, Rihanna,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I love
wonderful.
that. So that would be my answer. Modern pop music. I would have no joy playing modern pop music whatsoever.
Oh wow. Okay.
I would have no interest in playing that just because it's too locked down.
Right.
But I am fascinated by it in terms of its production, songwriting.
Yeah.
I think it's borderline genius.
Mm-hmm.
Which takes us to our next question from Justin Baylog. Hey Justin.
Hey Justin.
Who says, your creativity obviously expands beyond guitars. I'm curious what other art forms you look towards for inspiration. Keep being rad. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you. I am hopeless at every other form of art. I'm hopeless at every other instrument. Sometimes it feels like I'm just hanging on with guitar. But if I go to a gallery, so we used to have friends that lived in Hampstead, and we'd be up at Kenwood House a lot, which is the big house in not Four Weddings and a Funeral, that other film we did. Anyway.
Love Actually.
No.
Mickey Blue Eyes.
Jaws. No. Hang on. Anyway, Notting Hill.
Oh, okay.
Right, and where she's doing that period piece. So that's Kenwood House.
Nice.
And basically, he left that open to the public as a free public art gallery with all of his art in it.
Wow.
And he's got original Rembrandts in there and stuff. And the first time I worked in there, it just blew my mind. But what gets me with that art is it's touched by his hand, you know. More so, I mean, the art is beautiful, but it fills me with experience just thinking that the guy actually created, the artist was there and created this stuff, and just puts everything in perspective for me, because it's like hundreds and hundreds of years old, that stuff, you know. So when I see art like that, I get filled with the experience as opposed to being
that's how it should work.
Yeah. So it's films. I love films. It amazes me how someone can actually make a film come together. You know, it's just knowing what we do. It's like, how do you make that work?
How do you do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with Dan. This is going to be the airiest, fairest answer. Food, definitely.
Oh,
I consider it an art form. Food and wine, I definitely consider an art form.
Yeah.
But really, rather than the art form in itself, so like paintings and stuff, I don't get it. Don't get me wrong. If I'm stood in front of a Mark Rothko, I will feel something.
Yeah, right.
But Mona Lisa, I just don't get it. It's like whatever. Roof of the Sistine Chapel, get that.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
But again, that's the experience, isn't it? Because
Exactly
you
that.
put yourself in those positions. Like, man, he crippled himself doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. You should have got a cherry picker instead of all that scaffolding, but
stencils.
Would have been a big cherry
Spray
picker.
cans.
So yeah, I think anything that somebody does with integrity and meaning, and you can be in the environment. And the reason I mentioned food is because food requires an environment in which to enjoy it, and it's something that's accessible to most of us most of the time.
Yeah.
Or to create that environment, even if you do it at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that.
I really like Gordon Ramsay. I really do. I think he's fantastic.
Did you watch this series with Gino and Fred and Gordon?
No.
Oh, it's idiotic boy stuff, but it's
Okay.
really funny.
All right.
Really, really funny. Yeah, anything art, sport. I not so much sport unless it's motorcycle racing. Motorcycles, I find great inspiration from that.
So
Clothes, even though you would never believe it, fashion, and I'm a great admirer of that. But again, I don't participate. I don't have the money. Shoes.
you're a big fan of shoes.
Chairs.
Yep.
I'm a massive fan of chairs.
Yes, you are.
I am a huge fan of chairs. So like anything by Eames or, in fact, mid-century Danish furniture. I like. It's all so cliched.
Could you be more specific? Since
hi-fi.
one thing that and you can draw parallels with all these things. Like when I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what's amazing about that is it's very similar. It's like I can learn all the notes and all the chords, but putting it together in some sort of way that is just free and expresses something. It's like when you roll with these guys who are really on, and it's just so free.
Yeah, okay. So it's the flow, it's the freedom.
Absolutely, and it is incredible.
Yeah, I would go with you on that. So being outside in the open air, stood on top of a hill, that's about as inspiring as it could get for me.
Yeah.
Because
totally.
what have you got? You've got freedom in your brain.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, Justin, for that long answer. Thank you for asking the question. Brandon Pietrus. Hey, Brandon. We all good, Hayden?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Excellent. Brandon Pietrus says, I've got a Keeley Verbatrem, which I love, but the internal switches are a little frustrating. I don't need the workstation version. Is it possible to modify these for an exterior switch, or is that a bad idea? What do they do, the internal switches? Is it a bypass or trails thing, maybe?
No idea.
Verbotrem. I've got one somewhere.
I mean, yeah, you can modify if it's just a switch. There's no problem. I would probably.
Is there a screwdriver on that desk, please? Thank you. Yeah. Trouble is, it's going to be on a very small PCB.
Yeah.
So if you can even get in there, I don't know if it's is it SMD or SMT?
Surface mount. SMT.
technology
Yeah.
as opposed to surface mount. I hear people saying surface mount design.
I think you can use either, actually. I
Okay.
think they're interchangeable.
Well, if it's SMD/T, you will struggle unless you're a nano person.
And I tell you what, man, that technology is so small now.
Yeah.
You know, think about the tech that goes in your phone. It's, you know, R's and C's that you need to look under a microscope to see them. It's unbelievable.
Somebody sent us some components once, and I
Like
genuinely
dust.
thought they were dust.
Yeah.
Genuinely thought they were dust. They weren't dust. Dust. For anyone that remembers Marjorie at Fat Club.
Yeah. So you take your cake, split it in half. Therefore, you can have twice as much.
Dust. Bank 1, Bank 2, vintage and modern.
Okay. So with a switch like that, so we've got these two little dip switches here. Now, I'm not sure if there's any audio going through that. The risk that you have if you take if you leave this in the open position, and then you can, you know, connect two cables to that, put it to another switch and take it on the outside here, and then you can switch it there. But if that's carrying audio, then you might run into problems depending on, yeah, well, just depending on what it's running past, you know, on the circuit board. It's, you know, it's all there's lovely big ground plane on that, so you should be fine. But
At least you can get in there.
yeah, you can get in there, and it would just be leaving the dip switches in the off position, connecting a single pole, single throw, which is so a single pole that is either open or closed, and yeah, so you can definitely do it, or just leave the back off, and just, you know, put the base plate on your pedal board, but leave the screws off, so it's still all shielded when you want to get to it. Yeah.
Cool. Johnny Headland says, greetings from Sweden. Well, hello to Sweden. I have an always-on pedal, throwback ST Rangemaster. My germanium fuzz face, JHS germanium fuzz face, just can't take in front of it or after it. Do I have to accept that it can or cannot be solved?
Yes.
So
They're not meant to take a massive amount of, you know, you're not going to damage it, but it's not going to take that level of signal. Putting a treble booster into a fuzz face.
why does the Analog Man's Sunline work then?
Why does Analog Man works with everything?
Right.
It just does.
Because in that, the treble booster is after the fuzz, isn't it? It's kind of the wrong way around.
The treble booster is after the fuzz, so that's
Yeah.
why it works. If you put the patch cable in the other way, you might have issues. But Analog Man stuff is just so stable.
Yeah. When you say it can't take it in front of it or after
Just collapses, I'm assuming.
it just caves in, yeah.
Because don't
In the
forget,
same way that if you like underbiased it, does it cave in that way? It just stops giving signal.
so a fuzz, right? What the fuzz is designed to do is to take your lovely guitar signal and turn it into a square wave. Now, if it's going to turn just the output of your guitar signal into a square wave, imagine what it's going to do when you boost that, and when you boost specific frequencies of that, it's, yeah,
Okay.
harsh.
Yeah. Yep. Ben Keane, we've got some bad news for you, Ben, unfortunately. He says, hi guys from Godalming in Surrey. I love my ARDX20 and a Maze 1, but I need more than 2 presets and a BPM millisecond display. Where do I go? The TC ND1 is a temporary solution.
There's,
One option.
yeah, get another one. Find another 80 RX20 and, you know, and switch between them, because they're just, yeah, they're so wonderful.
In terms of just the most beautiful analog delay, there's very little that'll touch it. If you want to be insane, a TC2290 will do it. But what will do it, I would say, to 99%, 98% of the Analog Man's beautiful analog tonality, plus 1,000,000% other things, is the Free the Tone Future Factory.
There you go.
Now you only get 4 presets off the top panel with that, but you can MIDI it if you want to do that.
Right.
So, and if you only want mono, the flight time does it as well. So the thing about the flight time and the Future Factory is they're the only digital delays, maybe apart from the Empress ecosystem that I've played, that seem to have the sonic fidelity and headroom. Well, headroom's not the right way to talk about it, but the ARDX20 is just so magic sounding, and I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is, whether it's got a preamp in it or what, but it just sounds blooming magic.
Yep.
And the Future Factory is the only thing, and indeed the flight time is the only thing I've ever used where I'm not saying, oh, I wish my ARDX20 was on the board.
Right.
Everything else, I'm like...
Yeah, agreed.
Because of the way, you know, the way it does the modulations for control voltage and all of that, you know, there's no conkers going on in there. It's just analog beauty.
Yep.
Have a look at Diamond. I don't know if they do more than 4 presets. Memory Lane Junior.
Yeah,
Has that got presets on it?
The Memory Lane Junior, I don't believe it does.
Sounds
but
good.
there's another one that they do that does have presets for memory.
Yeah. But of course, the other thing with both the Free the Tones is you can have milliseconds or BPM. In fact, the flight time, I don't know if it's still got it, has a BPM analyzer which will do plus or minus 20% if you turn it on.
Yeah.
So it'll listen to your drummer. I've never actually tried it, but...
Okay, close to me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So good luck with that. Gents, I looked into the 6G6B with boutique builders as you suggested. Oh, this was the old Fender blonde bassman, right? Nocturne blonde shell appears to be the ticket. Nice hat, Dan, says Curtis R. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Nice. Be interested to see how you get on with that. Dan knows the answer to this. Sorry.
Sorry. How's the hat going down, Hayden?
It's going well. There's been a few comparisons to Marty Music, Marty Schwartz.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's keen for it.
Okay. All right.
This is good.
All right.
We've got 2 colour options as well. I say we. Dan's got 2 colour options as well, so we'll test that out.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I'm going to start wearing a suit when something else happens.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
I know the answer.
Why does my Paul Cochrane Timmy not turn on when a TRS cable is plugged into the input? Cheers from Orlando, Florida. Says Brad Schultz.
Because the power, the TRS cable, you've got your tip, which is connecting the audio into the circuit, but then you've got the shield and the ring, and when the shield and ring are connected together, that is what connects the power.
Okay.
So if you, it's like I did a video ages ago. If you just on some pedal hacks, plug a TRS cable into that, take your voltmeter, connect and measure from the shield to the ring, and you'll see voltage across that, because that's where you connect your power. So it's like the Boss pedals, for example. You know, there's no power. Plug a cable in there. Suddenly it's working because it's the connection. The shield of the cable is connecting the ring to the shield, and that's what connects the earth of the pedal to ground. So you have a complete circuit. Boom.
I'm joking. There you go. I don't know what it is. I'm like my spaniel when I say, don't do that, it goes deaf. You know, if it knows when to ignore me.
Right.
Because it's just not interested in being told what to do.
Okay.
As soon as it gets technical and anyone starts talking about electronics, I'm like, yeah. Interesting. You asked if everyone had a good week, says Leyland Pedals. My appendix failed.
Oh,
so
no.
I said no, LMAO. Good to see Marty Schwartz on the show. To your left, though, Mick.
Marty.
Oh, so did it? We hope you're doing okay. It's a very painful thing, the old appendix, so I'm told.
Yeah.
Hopefully they whipped it out in good order, or indeed in collapsed order. Hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, that.
Yeah.
Appendicitis.
What does it do?
It does stuff. You put it in and it goes that, does that, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Great. That's what the professor said. Eric K. Hello, Eric. He says, howdy, legends. Awesome episode on Friday. I'm excited to see the new pedal board build from Dan. I believe my G3 should be shipping out very soon.
Oh,
and I
cool.
am very excited.
Cool. That's great, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, we go through Dan's pedal board this Friday. Pretty amazing it is too.
Yeah, I think I made a fundamental error with the... Well, I was so excited to try it with the super reverb. But the error I made was I was trying to keep everything quiet so that we could just talk about stuff. And the super quiet, not doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still good. It's still, there's still some sounds, and the matchless is glorious.
The thing is, the 85 things will change on it in the next 2 weeks, so we could do a follow-up.
Totally. Okay.
Such is the nature of building pedal boards. G Barge. Hello, G. Says, cheers, guys. All love and appreciation from Northern California. Classic show on Friday. Love Dan's intro schwang. Could you please talk about where the ARDX20, again, might fit into this discussion? I just used the Amaze one for tap tempo.
The ARDX1...
You've got to try the modulation with the Amaze.
But that... The modulation in the Amaze is phenomenal. Control voltage stuff. Where does that fit into it? I mean, it's an analog delay, so it fits in the same spot as the Memory Man. But it's warmer than the Memory Man.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the Memory Man's got very clear repeats. The RDX20 is warmer.
Yeah.
But it's the sort of delay you can just put more and more and more on.
It's
and
so great.
it just sounds magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
really great.
experiment with that. I don't know if the Amaze one is the same as the Amazio.
Yes.
Just in a different
It's a smaller
box.
version, I think.
Have I got mine up there? So the pedal we're talking about is the Analog Man ARDX20 dual analog delay, which is in a lovely big box. And the good news is, to make it really work, you need another box, which is a pain in the bottom, called the Amazio.
Ah, well done.
The original Amazio looked like this. Cover your eyes, Dan, can you? You have to actually physically cover them. So you've got the delay, and then you've got the little control unit, and actually a lot. So you've got the delay and you've got the little control unit, which is a lot of pedal board real estate. But what this does is it provides control voltage to this to vary the delay time to give you your modulation. It also does tap tempo and a bunch of presets. 2 switches, 2 knobs. I think if you turn this one on, it turns the modulation on, and these become depth and rate for the modulation.
Yes.
And it's just magic.
Yep.
It's utter magic noise. So do experiment with that. I could never work the presets thing out. It's just too complex for me. But certainly the tap tempo and the modulation.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, have you, forgive me, Dan, is there an analog delay on your board at the moment?
No, but I'll use the tape delay.
Yes.
So, yes, very analog.
Iron Wolf 1776. My last message didn't show up, so I'll try again. Are you going to get a JTM 45?
Yep, that's on the list.
Yeah, we're going to get a 100 watt plexi before we get a JTM 45.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, you've got to get a plexi.
Massive hankering for like a 73, 74 super bass.
Yeah, man.
Because they're,
come on.
you can still
awesome.
get them for semi-sensible money from around that time.
Right.
Late 60s ones, not so much.
Okay.
And maybe further on into the 70s. And I think they can be, tweak a rude to be very, very similar to the late 60s ones.
Cool.
But I've heard plenty of mid-70s ones that sound really, really, really lovely.
Right.
So yeah, it would be great. It would be great to get both of those things. To stand next to the high watt and the new 4x12 one day, and
that has to happen.
Blow our heads off.
Yep, has to happen.
Yep. Digger68. Hey guys, I'm building a mini Go board, and I need suggestions for an OD. My rat isn't doing what I need it to do. My pedal chain at the moment is Doom Bloom. I don't know what Doom Bloom is. Dodd 250, Black Russian Muff, Rat, MD200 and a carbon copy and a Flint and a DD7. So there's quite a lot on there.
Mm-hmm.
So your Rat isn't working. You want an OD.
So the Rat's amazing. So, I heard some amazing demos this weekend of original OD1s. They're such a great pedal, those old Boss ones. It depends if you want the character. It depends if you want that mid-range character. So, tube screamers, super overdrives, all awesome. If you want more of a full range type thing, you're getting into your blues breaker, the Marshall Blues Driver, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
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 There's millions to choose from. But work out first of all what you want that pedal to do. Whether you want to be working in the higher gain range or the lower gain range.
So the Doom Bloom is a fuzz,
Right.
by the looks of it.
Yep.
So you've got
Loads of high gain stuff there.
yeah, you've got enough gain to do the job. You've got a fuzz. Dodd 250 is a preamp, isn't it?
Yes.
Like a clean boost. Black Russian Muff. Yeah, so I would ease back from the Rat and go for something with a bit less gain that's just a nice gain stage.
Yeah. Yep.
I tell you what is well worth a try is the Walrus Audio.
Oh yeah, man, that thing's killer. The one with the elephant on the front.
Yep.
Yeah. Just wonderful. And you can switch in different diodes and LEDs and stuff for different gain characteristics. It's wonderful.
It's called the Ages, right? And what's really good about it is it spans a wide range of compression types and gain types. Plus it's got bass and treble EQ. So given that you're hitting it with all that fuzz, it's probably going to be quite useful to have some bass roll off.
Yeah.
It's also got a dry blend pot. So
Yes.
what happens when you stack loads of overdrive pedals together, as you know, it all just turns to mush and you can't hear anything. That'll enable you to just dial it nicely. So Walrus Ages would be my singular suggestion.
Great idea.
Yeah. And it's got a nice looking elephant on the front. Might be a mammoth. Michael Schwisher. No question from you, Michael. Hopefully one will come in, but if there isn't one, thank you for your generosity. Just checking. M. Houston 645 says, Legends. It's very kind that you call us that, but we'll say Legends. That's better. Legends. I've got an exotic RC booster into a Lightspeed into a Source Audio True Spring. Fork me, I'm done.
Yeah. Awesome.
Have you tried the harmonic trem in the True Spring? I'm impressed for digital. Actually, I haven't.
No, we got lambasted for not trying that last time because you get into the app
Yeah,
and turn it on, so we haven't tried that.
yeah, yeah. I probably tried it and ended up calling my mum or something.
Mum, listen to this. Remember that sound you were going for? Listen to this. Wow.
I think I just turned on the harmonic tremolo. No, you've just bought 84 rolls of toilet paper. Which is useful. Paul Matulovic again. Paul, thank you for your generosity today. He's saying, this one's just because I was playing my Dymo D&M and it sounds epic. Thank you for bringing it into being. With Robert, of course.
I've got D&M withdrawal and symptoms.
Yeah, we neglected the D&M for a little while because we just felt like if we were featuring it all the time, it felt like we were trying to sell it. And a lot of people were going, "Oh, don't you like the D&M drive anymore?" And we're like,
No.
no. So anyway, it has cropped up in a few shows recently.
Yeah. And I think it might actually be going back on my board.
Yeah. It's a great thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
We've been messing around with the higher gain ranges of my side just recently,
Ah, man.
which is nice.
That's what's done it for me, actually.
Really nice. Wolfpack Flyers. Have you ever considered doing an episode about the cheapest pedals and amp that will still give you a reasonably good sound? Total love and feels your way to TPS.
You know what? It's really tricky. There's so much good stuff out there.
Yep.
You know, Hot Rod Deluxe, some Boss pedals, you're going to sound fantastic.
Yep.
What I'm trying, I think what we're trying to do is, if you know enough about, if you've got a vision of what you're trying to achieve, and you get a clue about how to go about that, then there might be things that you tweak one way or the other. Like for me, I don't really want to not use the matchless.
Well, yeah, because we have the privilege of having all this really nice stuff. I mean, I think Dan's totally right. You know, you go for a mid-price valve amp from Fender or PV or Blackstar or whoever it is.
It's going to sound great.
Add a bunch of like Moore or, you know,
Joyo and
whatever
all
those
this- yeah.
whatever those brands are. You know, you just buy a job lot of pedals and stick your own brand on it. Everything after that is diminishing marginal returns.
Totally.
And there's no doubt about that. For me, it's Hot Rod Deluxe. Hot Rod Deluxe is the amp that I wouldn't step, I don't want to say below, but
No, but that's the base level.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and you gotta, you know, you gotta significantly go up from there. And by Hot Rod Deluxe, we also mean standard AC30. You know, that sort of level of amp. You got to go a long way up from there price-wise to have a really discernible improvement, I think.
Yep.
But then, in addition to that, and it is a privilege of having access to stuff, I like knowing who made my pedal.
Me too. Yeah.
I really
absolutely.
value that highly. And I don't mean the person who owns the company necessarily, although, again, the privilege that Dan and I enjoy means that we do know most of those people. But I want to know it's made in a place that I'm comfortable with,
Yeah.
and that they have standards of manufacture and working, levels of pay, benefits, all the things that...
And people who actually give a rat's.
Well, that I mean, I'm sure that lots of people give a rat's, but the things that you would expect in your life, in your place of work, I would like to know that the people who made my stuff enjoy that.
Yeah.
Which, that's all I'm saying.
Yep. Great.
And I want to know that that's the case.
Very good.
So, if it means an extra $50-$100, I'm lucky enough to be in a position to be able to do that. So,
Yep. Totally.
Yep. So yeah, which is all to say we wouldn't necessarily do a show that's based on price purely for the sake of it, which I know sounds crazy to a lot of Americans, that price isn't the most important thing you would think about. But I don't know, you just do this for so long and maybe it's not the number one consideration anymore. Clearly there's budget. If I had all the money in the world, none of that, well, most of that wouldn't be there, and there'd be a load of vintage guitars there. So we've all got, you know, clearly budget matters. But yeah, pedals, I don't know, even good pedals are attainable enough for a lot of people.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, not 100 great pedals, that's not attainable for everyone, but a bunch of nice stuff, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Which is not to say that we don't own stuff that we don't know where it's come from. So it's not. I'm not trying to be pious about it. My Epiphone, for example,
Sure.
and various other things in this room. So, and this. Let's not forget that. And this. So I appreciate that it might sound a little hypocritical, but given the choice, that's a decision I'm going to make.
There you go.
Yeah. Have I dug deep enough down?
Keep digging. We're nearly out.
Bobbler42, nice to hear from you. He says, lads, a question about second-hand gear marketplaces. Do I get a Messer bottle rocket or a V-twin, or both? If so, which way around? The bottle rocket. I don't remember the bottle rocket.
The answer's always both. What was the question?
V-twin, which was...
I remember the V-twin. Remember it well?
Mesa's
I have one
valve
of those.
overdrive pedal, or the Mesa bottle rocket, which is a... V1 bottle rocket. V1 bottle rocket. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So just the newer version.
Yeah, yeah.
thereof.
Single foot switch.
Yeah. I haven't heard it.
So I had the twin, and it was really good. If your amp can take it, if your amp's got enough clean headroom. It's the thing with I've always struggled with preamp pedals with the amps that I play, because generally, AC30s, etc. As soon as they start limiting, that's the place of joy in those amplifiers, and it means that you put something that has harmonics within it when it's compressing, like a valve preamp. It's difficult to make those pedals sound great in an amp that's already limiting. However, Hot Rod Deluxe, great.
So the V-twin is a dual channel thing, and the bottle rocket single channel.
Right.
I love the strapline on the Mesa site. It says, sired by our dual rectifier head and raised by a hog-riding armadillo. Armadillo!
Very good. Very good.
Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. Yeah, both, obviously.
Yep, both. There you go. I'll start with the V-twin.
Yeah. Yeah. What Dan said is right, though. They are. If you've never had a valve pre before, they are a little tweaky. I certainly find that with my Kingsley stuff.
Yeah.
You've got to get that gain staging exactly right. There's so much more latitude in normal overdrive pedals.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
Very
Cool. DJT HC30 reverb arrived. Fab tones, but very hissy noise floor. Curious how yours sounds idle compared to your Imperial head and cab, which I also have because I'm currently trying the HC30 through the same cab. Noise floor?
So I don't have the HC30 reverb. I had the HC30 reverb. I now have the HC30. I thought it was a great amplifier. I actually had the first one ever made because I kept bugging
Phil to do it
for ages. I know that he has. I don't know if yours is brand new, or if you've got a second hand from someone. I would talk to Phil about that because he has made some changes to that circuit. So I'd have a chat to Phil. The standard HC30, absolutely wonderful noise floor. Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
If it's hiss, that shouldn't be too much to do with the reverb, should it? Because the problem with reverb is usually hum.
Oh, okay.
So in my Mark 1 Mesa, for example, the reverb hums like hell because transformer, reverb tank, and it obviously if you've got a head, that relationship is so much more close.
Of course,
that you will get that. Hiss is something unless it's a noisy preamp tube, which is entirely possible.
Yeah. Seriously.
Talk to Matchless.
Give Phil a call.
He doesn't
and he'll
want that.
sort you out. He is amazing. So yeah.
They don't want that.
No.
And Bobbler42, thank you again. Very kind.
Thank you, Bob.
Hunter Strasser.
We went there, didn't we? Strasser Street?
That means street, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hunter Street.
Yeah. Will higher output pickups cause drives to compress more and be down on output volume? I end up boosting the level with my Collings 290 versus others. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're hitting the front end harder, it's going to compress quicker.
I tell you what's really interesting about that. I find the same thing with my 290 DCS. And there comes a point where it just seems to cave in.
Yeah, right.
And it's like you've got to dial the gain back.
Yep.
So you could boost or you could dial the gain back. And I don't know... Oh, it hurts me, Dan.
What?
Frets coming out the end a little bit.
Oh, because of the moisture. Yeah. I had that with one of my grey guitars, and but you just get a file on the edge and perfect.
Yes, it does seem to cave in a little bit, which is, you know, you would think that that wouldn't happen with a P90, but it does. So you can either knock back the gain a bit or you can boost it a bit. I would actually knock back the gain a bit.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is right. You're getting so much compression in the overdrive
Yep.
that you're just losing all your clarity and definition and all of that. But yeah, I do feel your pain. That's why I love Strat Bridge pickups so much, because they never, ever do that.
Yep. That's coming. You got to watch that show, man. That was so fascinating.
You know, you sit there
All
and
the
music...
sorry, I was to say all the questions I've been asking you about Strats for years, covered everything in one show. Just wonderful.
Do you know what? We didn't even talk about compressors. That's going to be the main question that,
Well,
that
part
we've
two.
omitted.
Part two.
But yeah, it's the nature of a higher output pickup.
Yeah.
Although humbuckers don't do it in the same way, so could be something peculiar to the P90 maybe. Askew humidity 20 years. Richard Hammond of music. Oh yes, maybe I'm the British Hammond of Richard Hammond of music. He's British, but he loves American cars.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I love American.
Be that.
Yeah, I love American guitars and amps for sure. Adrian Jordan, I think, requires linguistic skills. This one, he says chapeau
Chapeau.
or chapeau, as in capo.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks, Adrian.
My golden buzzer for the day.
Thanks to that pedal show for making our community a better place, says Vertex Effects.
Ah.
Hello, Mason.
Cheers, Mason. Thanks, buddy.
And continuing to democratise great tone. Have a great week. Thanks, Mason. Democratising tone, I like that.
Very good.
Yeah. That's nice. Raphael Freitas says, hi, I just got a blonde Messer Express 525 Plus for a great deal and decided to keep the old Blackstar 5-watt for wet dry. It's amazing. However, I wondered, are ambient effects inherently sad? Can they sound happy?
Happy chord? Sad chord.
In Dan's pedalboard video on Friday, we do a couple of jams and they are both sad.
Are
'Cause
they
there's
both sad?
So much reverb going on. Actually, the first one is in a major key, so it just sounds weak. Because I'm playing this, I don't know what to play. I can't play major tonality, so I'm just playing like the standard major this, and it's like, woo! It's all gone Miss Marple. Whereas at the end, we're in a minor key, and it's much better.
Okay. It's a bit of happy, bit of sad.
So are they inherently sad?
No.
Ambient effects? No, I don't think so either. Play more major chords. Play major 7 chords. You have to feel happy over a major 7 chord.
Yeah. I think they can seem... So you can get lost in them and it can seem melancholic.
Contemplative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think... But it doesn't mean sad.
No.
But it's just... It's definitely a mood. You know what I mean? And so... But it can be it can be a happy thing. Just, and there's the thing with minor it's less final, but there's, I don't know, the major stuff seems that there's a finality about it.
Yeah.
But
what you could do is if you learn your major scale triads properly and play around with that, then you've got major and minor, and it sounds really nice.
yeah.
And actually, in harmonising the major scale in that way, is you not only do you stumble across about 58,000 famous songs.
Your favourite singer? I did the harmony.
But all that is a major scale, right? So why is the last one so difficult?
Because it's a minor 7 flat 5.
But it shouldn't be any more difficult than any of the others, should it?
Well, just play the minor triad, make the flat 5th. Where are you heading up to? There you go.
And if you learn all of that properly, not only is it the root of all music ever, but it'll enable you to explore those major and minor tonalities with your ambient effects, particularly if you play some of them wrong and add minor 7s and stuff, and minor 9s. Yeah, it's a nice way to be happy
Yeah, indeed.
with ambience. Yeah. Apologies to all the guitar teachers watching. Jeremiah McCann says, Dan, do a vlog on your tele wiring, especially no tone on the neck pickup.
Okay, yeah, happy to.
That's good.
So easy.
Yeah. G-Barge, Dan's right on this one. Example, Clapton is a respect player. He's genuine. He can play all the America-rooted blues he pleases, and we're all better for it. He ain't pretending. Mick, you play from the heart, no pretending.
Absolutely.
Clapton's an interesting example, actually. He does have his own voice.
He does.
He doesn't sound like an American facsimile of himself,
Right.
whereas Elton John really does.
I like Elton.
Hey. I love Elton too. I mean, what a fantastic songwriter.
Did you like the film?
I did. I love the film.
Amazing film.
Yeah. I think it'd have been better if someone else was the executive producer, but it was an amazing film.
Oh, okay. Rather than Elton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still
I think
amazing.
more grit would have been good.
Yeah,
More sadness.
but there was.
I like the films where they all die in the end. They're my favourite films.
Great way to finish the Elton John film.
Yeah.
Just this. What's that light in the sky?
Yeah.
Mushroom cloud.
Meteorite.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
End of the dinosaurs.
Yep.
Sorry, I am being facetious. It's a fantastic film, isn't it?
They're wonderful.
The reimagining of those songs, Rocket Man, if you haven't seen it, the reimagining of the songs and the choreography is just amazing piece of work.
I've seen the pictures of that first gig he did at the
Troubadour.
Troubadour.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, wonderful. I like some of those early songs. Just wow.
Yeah. Clearly, it's only a problem if you've got a problem with it, isn't it? And I do. So, I mean, the not owning the music thing,
Yeah.
and the pretending thing. Yeah, always struggled. Wolfpack Flyers. Who do you wish was a world famous musician, but for some reason is unknown? For me, it's Tim Smith, R.I.P. of the Cardiacs. Or Cardiacs.
Man.
Who deserves much more recognition?
I wasn't aware of the Cardiacs until I went on a car journey with Stephen Wilson. We went down to pick out his telly.
What kind of car does Stephen Wilson have?
Oh no, I gave him a lift.
Oh, okay.
Some
purple.
And then just having a conversation and talking about anyway, Cardiacs came up and said, I'm not really aware of them. He goes, oh my word. And he put on some music and my mind was forever altered. Yeah.
Well, and tell me about Cardiacs while I try and solve this technical
far
problem.
out. What's happened?
I don't know, I think the thing's crashed. I think we're still live though, so
Okay.
you won't
So-
worry too much about it.
If you can imagine, how do you even start to describe them?
Rock,
New wave,
ballet,
experimental, like time changes throughout the entire song, and sections will speed up and slow down, and everything's melodic, and then it's how would I try and describe the sound? I'm going to play you a Cardiac song. I promise you will hate it. But it is fascinating.
Yeah.
Actually, you might not. There is some Zappa-esque elements to it, but it is jarring.
Cardiacs, yeah, I'll give it a
Yeah,
go.
really, really interesting.
I thought Bernie wrote the song, says Buzz Crumhunger. Well, Bernie writes the lyrics. Yeah, and Elton wrote the tunes.
Yeah.
Lauren O'Connell says Von Blade. I'm 47 and she's my favourite artist ever with about 20k followers. Sunny Landreth Z Rider.
Oh yeah. So, sorry. Who did you say your artist would be?
Richard Thompson deserves to be world famous. Richard Thompson is world famous.
Yeah. It's like saying, Joey Landreth is famous. He deserves to be an absolute megastar.
Yes, I think Joey Landreth deserves to be as famous as Taylor Swift.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
I know he's our friend and everything, but he is as world class a singer as anyone else you want to mention.
Yep.
And then when you add in the songwriting and guitar playing on top of it,
Yeah.
no one cares about the guitar playing. Obviously, once you get mega, that's not important anymore. But the songwriting and the singing is what gets you massive.
Yeah.
And he's up there.
Absolutely.
He is absolutely up there.
Yep.
But then, who else? Just so many fantastically talented people, and I think a lot of the most fantastically talented people I know either overtly don't want it,
Right. That's interesting.
or they subconsciously don't want it.
Right.
Because wanting it means a lot of... There's been some really interesting documentaries just recently about what pop stars endure.
Right. Oh, it's been hell.
And it is brutal.
Yeah.
It is absolutely brutal.
Yep.
From the expectation of them as artists to the corporate stuff they've got to wade through, the schedules, all of that. Now, no one's feeling that sorry for them, right? Because they chose it and they wanted to be the big pop star. But the more that sort of stuff comes to light, I think the more people are like, you know what? The problem therein is, to make any money, you have to be massive.
Yeah. Totally.
To make any real money, don't get me wrong, people can have careers and do really well now thanks to the internet, small tours. Definitely you can have a living and you can probably do well enough to, do okay. But if you want real money, you have to be massive.
Yep.
You have to have volume. And there lies that huge vacuum in the middle of really talented people.
Yeah.
It's not about talent, is it, the music business?
No.
It's really not.
Well,
It's about business.
It is about business. Talent's part of that, but you've got to be able to be a product.
Yeah. Yeah. Being talented has no relation on whether you're going to make it in the business.
Sure.
The two things aren't related.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that got a bit serious. Sorry. Yeah. I got a used 65 issue deluxe reverb. Best sounding amp Fender makes, in my opinion. I never liked the way my Boss SD1 sounded until now. Thanks.
Oh, fantastic.
Says Jonathan Hoyer. Yeah, there's a good reason for that.
Yeah. We're going to do a show on sort of next steps after the Hot Rod Deluxe. And it's really, really interesting because the Hot Rod's such a fantastic amp, it's got all the stuff, but there are certain directions that you can go from there.
Yeah.
And fascinating.
Well, the Hot Rod Deluxe is your Nissan Qashqai, isn't it? Which used to be the best-selling car in Britain.
Right.
It just does everything. You can get the whole family in it. You can go down the flipping in the middle at the bottom, Hayden. Yeah. You can go down the shops in it. You can drive it down the beach. It's not hard to drive. It's good on gas. It's the sensible, practical choice. And to Where do you go from a Nissan Qashqai?
Exactly.
If you want the same thing with BMW or a Merc badge on it, it's probably double the money.
There you go.
If you want something different, what do? Get a 2-door sports coupe, in which case, not much good for the kids.
Yeah, but directions in which to go.
Exactly
There
that.
you
I
go.
love motoring analogies when it comes to guitar amps. Yeah, there's a really good reason why it's so popular. And the 65 Deluxe Reverb is a stylistic choice away from the Hot Rod Deluxe
on from that.
to a more vintage tonality,
Yeah.
which might work for some people but really doesn't work for others. But we
Yeah.
agree with you about
Absolutely.
the 65 Deluxe Reverb.
Wonderful.
I don't know if it'd be a regular thing, says Jason Carapazzi. Hello, Jason. But I, for one, am here for Dan with the new hat.
Ah, bless you.
Perhaps we can start voting on it with our wallets. The winning hat on the next episode, and a percentage of the money goes to charity. My vote, sombrero.
So what you're saying is more coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it really suits you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Johnny Headland, since I ran out of characters in my first super chat, I wanted to say thank you to both of you for being a great inspiration for gear and playing. Well, thank you,
Oh,
Johnny.
mate, that's very kind, Johnny. Thank you. Bless
That's very
you.
kind of you. Guys, you've showed me that fuzz pedals are problematic with high gain amps, says Talon Big. But is there a fuzz pedal that actually works well with the likes of a Super Kraken, or am I searching for the unicorn?
If you are using the Super Kraken in a really high gain mode, you are like everything is limited,
Yeah.
and you're getting, all the distortion and harmonics and everything. There are things that you can do with fuzz pedals, but it might actually require you turning the fuzz down a bit. What tends to happen if you've got a massive square wave and you're punching into a really high gain amp, you'll get sort of feedback and things become really hard to play. Now, but it all depends on the fuzz. So, for example, fuzz face into a cranked Marshall, heaven, into a high gain thing, difficult because the amount of bottom end. However, something like a tone bender, something where you can control that, a bit more control, a bit more in the bottom end, a bit more focus in the mid range, that can work great. But it might not be so awesome with the gain wound all the way up. You can make it work, but it's challenging. You've also got to have if you've got single coil guitars, it can be really good because you'll get a bit more dynamics from the bridge pickup. It'll go into less compression than with humbuckers. However, it'll be harder to control with the single coil. So, squealing and whatnot. It's a tricky thing, fuzz with really high gain amplifiers.
It is, and as Dan alludes, you really want something where you can regulate the bottom end.
Yeah.
So you can still generate that nasty square wave at the top end and in the mid frequencies, and in which case look at a treble booster.
Yep.
It's just such unfortunately named, isn't it, a treble booster? Few things sound as glorious into a gainy amp as a treble booster.
I really like it. It keeps us in the know.
I was looking for the TrueFi color driver, but this is the real thing. Color Sound Power Boost. Boost all the way through to Crazy Fuzz.
Unreal.
And a treble and bass control.
Yeah.
Really brilliant. These are stupid money, but because they're made in the UK by fairies in forests. But the TrueFi color driver is a bit less expensive. Actually, these aren't too bad, depending on which one you go for. Proper color sound one. This was a who's this one
Dave
made by?
Castledine?
Yeah, Stu Castledine.
Stu Castledine, sorry. Yeah.
Is who made that one. But this is really great.
That's wonderful.
BAE, British Audio Engineering,
Let's go with that.
maybe. Royal Tone, which is kind of a Mark 1 tone bender E sort of thing,
Yeah.
or might be a Mark 2 tone bender. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's got bass and treble and a switchable mid thing. That is killer.
Yeah.
Not ostensibly fuzz pedals, but they really do the fuzz thing when you pair them with a gainy amp.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Also, check out Rabir. I mean, he uses, what does he use? The Buffalo Effects stuff
Yeah.
and a Super Kraken.
Yeah.
So he makes it work.
Yeah. It's a really interesting question, though, fuzz pedals with high gain amps. Tricky, but can be, you know.
Yeah. Or, you know, Super Kraken's got a fantastic clean channel.
There you go.
Smash that fuzz into your clean channel and wake up. Because then you'll hear it and it'll sound glorious.
Yeah, totally. That's a great shout, actually.
Tremolo68 says, firstly, I would like to thank TPS for all the years of great advice, humour and education.
Oh, you're very welcome, mate. Thank you.
And TPS pedals. I've got the G3. Is the Bluetooth capable of WIDI?
So it is. We haven't done that yet.
What's WIDI?
Wi-Fi MIDI.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's MIDI over Bluetooth. It is a Bluetooth MIDI chip or device in there. The app and everything is driven by MIDI. We will explore that more in the future. So yes, it's possible, but sort of baby steps of that. Actually working on an Android app at the moment. We've done the iOS app. We are working on an Android app. But yeah, it is capable. But yeah, don't hold your breath. But thank you.
WIDI. I've never heard of WIDI.
I've never heard of it either. I'm just assuming he means Wi-Fi MIDI, or yeah. But it's MIDI over Bluetooth.
I think my piano might have that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Which also explains why I've never used it. Stuart Tate. Hey Stuart, how are you? Hope you're well, mate. He says, I'm changing the greenback in my AC15 to an Alnico Blue.
Nice.
I also have an empty 2x12. Should I get a second greenback or team it with something else?
That is a really great question.
I'm going to show you something.
Light a match. I need to do this. Yeah, that's a wonderful pairing.
Matchless, very famously, do it.
Yeah.
What is it?
You tell me. I've completely forget. I got no idea.
It's they tweak the speakers actually, so they're not just standard, but it's a 25 watt greenback and a G12H. So the anniversary, I think, is the bass speaker for
Is it
it.
75 or 65?
It's called a 75th anniversary.
75th anniversary. Ah, yeah.
But it's a heavy magnet. So a G12M greenback is called M because M means medium magnet. And that's the standard 25 watt greenback. There's one that's kind of got a goldy sticker on the back, which has a heavy magnet and takes 30 watts, which is called the G12H. And it does get confusing because there are lots of Celestion speakers called G12H, but this one has got 70th anniversary written on the back of it. And Matchless used that combination, albeit in tweaked form. I think Celestion did some stuff to the speakers for them. But it is a really nice
wonderful
combination of, because the medium magnet speaker breaks up a bit quicker, a bit more woody in the mid-range. The H handles the lows a bit better. And it's just a really nice combination. So that's well worth trying.
Yep.
In fact, Victory amps, I believe Victory does that in their V212 VH cab.
Okay.
One of them.
Right.
Is it the VH? Might be the copper cab. Can't remember. In one of their vertical 212s, they have that combination.
Wow.
But that said, two greenbacks.
Two greenbacks is magic.
RH and K.
One of the best cabs we've got.
Closed back, 212 cab, two greenbacks sounds magique.
Yeah. You can also mix a greenback and a blue as well. That's a really great combination.
Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't one
really
not too
cool.
quick? Is the blue not too
No,
quick?
they work really well together.
Interesting.
So lots of people do it in their AC30s. They take a blue out and put a greenback in, and it's really, really cool.
There you go. Try that, Stuart.
Hope you're well as well, mate. Yes, Stuart very graciously sent me the original Mitsubishi chip for the Rat.
Oh, no
and
way.
I've got I've got
LM308.
Yeah, yes. And I've got a white face reissue. So, where is it? I think it's in the room because I'm going to be filming it. So basically, my favourite rat ever, right, is this one. The old big box Proco. And this thing just sounds magic. And I thought, I know what I'll do. When they released the white face version back in 2000 and something.
Look at that, Kalamazoo, Michigan.
There you go.
Interesting because
That's where Gibson was stationed.
and the Maestro FZ1.
Indeed. Indeed. So,
think.
anyway, I got this whiteface reissue, supposed to be dead on, never sounded right. And then Stuart posted some stuff about some rat stuff that he's been doing. He found these original things. I'm like, so I'm going to swap out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is very interesting.
Weight of Gold. Hi from PVD, Rhode Island, USA. PVD, don't know. Rhode Island, USA, home of coffee milk, pizza strips, and 3.5-minute abs.
7-minute abs.
Pedal number 1, Dodd FX90 from 1985. I used it to drain batteries. Still need delay, but I'm okay with the functions of the Alter Ego, Vintage Echo, DL4, Keeley Canyon, etc. What are your thoughts? Still need delay, but I'm okay with the functions. So what are our thoughts? I'm struggling to understand
see the question.
What the question is. Still need delay, but I'm okay with the functions of the Alter Ego.
The Alter Ego's a very cool delay.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Yeah.
I would totally go with that. So
Yep.
many good sounds in it.
Wonderful.
If you can still get one,
Yep.
go with that. Yep. Daniel, not you.
Indeed.
This is Daniel from Europe,
Oh, cool.
who says, "Hi guys, is there a difference in quality between the Boss RV500 reverb and a Strymon Big Sky and the CXM 1978? I'm searching for a reverb for my home studio."
The Boss reverb is really great. The Strymon reverb is fantastic. But, man, the CXM, it's just...
It is something else.
It really is. I don't know. Best pedal reverb I've ever heard.
It would be really interesting to put it next to some plugins,
Yeah, right.
because reverb plugins are really good,
Yeah.
and I'd probably use a plugin over the RV500 or the Strymon,
Yeah.
simply for the simplicity of it, given that it's in your machine. Unless, of course, you want to use it on guitar amps, and in which case it's a pain in the butt. So if you want to use it in the studio on instruments, then yeah, it's a lot of money, but the CXM is just truly spectacular. But you're going to get really great results out of those other things.
Absolutely.
Really, really great results. If it's in the context of post-prod, then I would really, take your plugins as far as they'll take you, because they're much cheaper.
And there's some brilliant ones.
Oh, truly amazing.
Yeah.
Truly amazing.
Well, the thing that does it for the CXM with me is that nothing in it sounds gimmicky. With a lot of the reverb stuff, they're all great, but when you start going through, you're on preset 89, by then so many of those sounds just sound so over the top, and just as demonstrations of what the thing's capable of.
Yeah.
With the CXM, they all just sound like it can either be subtle and roomy, or just sound like a soundtrack to a 70s sci-fi film. Yeah, it really is something else. Someone else.
Google's kicking me out, Dan.
Okay.
Doesn't like me. Doesn't like me. Something went wrong. We're done. Yeah, YouTube Studios crashed, I think.
Oh dear.
Yeah. In which case, I think we got to the end. I do think that was the last one.
Oh, well done.
If we've missed anybody, we'll pick it up next week with apologies. But Google, YouTube has just crashed, so I don't quite know what to do about that. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, indeed.
As always, we really appreciate you making the time to be with us on these Mondays. It's good to chat, isn't it, Dan?
It's wonderful.
One day, hopefully, we'll be able to do it more in person, which would be really lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't miss this Friday's show, which is Dan's pedalboard build.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I haven't seen the build bits yet, which I'm quite looking forward to.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's all there. And then the following week, don't miss that because that's
Strat
the Strat
business.
show.
Strat business.
Man, it was so good.
Yeah. And then we're going to do something different. For I don't know whether it will be the week after or the week after that. We're going to do some more straightforward stuff, fundamental stuff, and shorter videos. And we're going to put one out every day for a little while, i.e. not much more than a week. But to just get some pace going and do some things that we want to do. Yeah, so keep a lookout for that.
There's a bunch of questions that keep coming up over and over again that we have addressed. But we thought what we'll do is we're going to get those questions and put them all together. So there's a place for, you know, one wonderful thing about the pedal world is expanding. We've got a whole bunch of new people coming into it all the time.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we are welcoming those people in and, you know, helping them explore and get the most out of their wonderful new pedals.
Which is all to say, for you faithful TPSers, don't be alarmed if you see a couple of different things start happening. We're not going anywhere. We're not changing anything, but we are going to do some extra stuff. So.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, good.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, have a fantastic week and we'll see you soon.
Okay, cheerio.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.